I always feel a little bit melancholy when I finish a game that I am absolutely loving, and that's how I felt when the credits rolled on Astro. This is the latest game from Team Asobi for the PlayStation 5, although there are rumors that this may come to the PC, which would be quite extraordinary because this is a game that absolutely celebrates every single facet of the PlayStation brand. There are homages and connections and direct links to PlayStation games and PlayStation hardware and all kinds of fun elements that we have seen with this universe for a very long time. This universe and its collective game universes for a very long time. And I'll tell you what, this is an incredibly tight experience to play. It is so fun. I'm going to try my best not to spoil anything in this review because it's also a game that is about the surprise. It is about finding out what kind of secret or deep cut they're going to introduce in the title as you turn a corner or you open up a level or you find a secret entrance to something. But it is extraordinary. It was made with so much love. That's what you see when you play this. And not to condescend to this game or to reduce it, but it also feels like perhaps the most Nintendo feeling experience ever released on a PlayStation console. It really does feel like something out of the Mario universe in a way. But of course you're playing a little robot who has lots of flexibility in his mechanics, and there are lots of little power-ups that you can collect along the way. Some of these you've seen in the trailers, so I'll spoil them a little bit, but you'll pick up these animal-related power-ups. And one of them is you get these frog gloves that give you the ability to punch things, but also to grab onto sticky substances and do some swinging because the arms are extended a little bit. You also get this bulldog rocket pack on you that will bust through obstructions, whether they're glass walls or walls that you can tell can be demolished. There's also these monkey arms that you can get where you will be able to pick up objects and hurl them at bad guys. And there are tons of little robotic creatures that are coming out to get you. They're usually purple or orange or green. You and your little Astrobot buddies, all the bots that you are rescuing, all come in this more pastel-y hues, more light blue, although there are VIP bots, which is a big part of the experience here, which are infused with the personalities and the characteristics and the costumes of lots of PlayStation heroes. And they've shown off a little bit of this already. God of War is a big chunk of the gameplay. You're going to see Nathan Drake in here. And what's really cool, and I'm edging into some spoiler territory here, but some of the worlds that you explore in this game actually go off on a bit of a tangent and they evoke PlayStation classics. And that's all I'll say. I really don't want to spoil it. It's really fun, and of course all kinds of great music cues pop up into this thing, and you get new capabilities and new weapons and things that correlate with some of these beautiful experiences that this game is tipping its hat to. And there is just limitless discovery. You've got hundreds of little bots to rescue as you go from level to level, which feels very much like a Super Mario Galaxy experience because you are actually floating on the back of a DualSense controller. They call it a dual speeder, and you're whipping from each of these different planets, and you dive into them and you try to get all of the objectives, which is collecting all of the bots that are hidden, and some of them are coiled up in an enemy's rope or something like that, or they're hidden behind a wall that you just can't see, so you're constantly pivoting the camera angles to look in every single direction to see where there might be a secret. And you're also unlocking all of these puzzle pieces which allow you to go back onto your home world, your sort of base world, and these puzzles unlock these constructions, these buildings where you can walk in. There's a safari one where you can see a lot of the animal bots that you will rescue along the way. There's a VIP dress-up room basically where you can get the costumes for different PlayStation characters and put them onto your little Astrobot character. And then there are all kinds of other collectibles that you can find in this gacha ball machine, which are accessories for all of the VIP bots that you've picked up. So without spoiling too much, you might pick up a God of War character and you might find a weapon for them, and you'll see them populate inside of the world. The camera will zoom out and you'll see your little VIP bot get his or her little accessory, and it's super cute. And even on the base world, there are all kinds of secrets and lots of different areas to explore, and really that's the whole experience here. You are just constantly looking around in every nook and cranny of each of these environments. They're all wonderfully curated, and they're so expertly crafted, and the mechanics are amazing. Just like Astro's Playroom, which was an Astrobot experience that came bundled with the PlayStation 5, so if you've got a console, you've probably played some Astrobot experience. And then, of course, there was the Astrobot Rescue Mission, the VR game that is one of the best VR experiences that came out for either PSVR 1 or VR 2. Amazing game. Now, this is not a VR experience. It's strictly a third-person action-adventure platformer meant to be played on a flat screen. And one of the cool things is that Team Asobi and PlayStation have said there's going to be some DLC that's going to come. It's free, and some new levels and some new surprises are going to be included with this. The game isn't especially crazy over long. It's going to take you probably a weekend to kind of navigate through everything, but it's unbelievably replayable. It's so fun, and because it's so patterned after the PlayStation experience, the hardware experience, it's the best controlling game for the PlayStation DualSense. You hear coming out of the speaker on the controller, you hear every footstep of Astrobot and all of the different surfaces that the character might be walking across. You also feel them with the haptic feedback in the controller. And there's just so many great connections to the hardware that you have in your hand, and of course, it's correlating with what you're seeing on screen, because actual physical PlayStation hardware is what you're collecting and you're constantly referencing throughout the whole game. So it's just this unbelievably perfect fit. It's such an inside baseball type of experience too. It's really like a love letter to PlayStation fans that have been along for the whole ride, and I include myself in that category. And honestly, that was one of the things that got me a little bit down about the game, because this is such a hallmark experience for showing off these crazy risks that PlayStation has taken right from its inception in 1995. All of these great franchises along the way, and you're going to see so many of them in this game. And it makes you think that we're not really getting this level of risk in the PlayStation 5 era. We're not really getting this deluge of rampant creativity that we used to get in PlayStation consoles of the past. And I certainly have been reflecting on that. I tweeted about all of these different brands, all of these different franchises that PlayStation has published and brought out into the world, and so many of them are dormant. They're just sitting there, and they're referenced, and they're, sort of celebrated in this game. But it would be cool to have more of those games. And quite frankly, this game took a few years to make, since the Astro's Playroom came with the launch PlayStation 5. I really hope that we get more. I hope that a sequel is already in the works. I hope that it's going to come sooner than another 3 or 4 years. I understand the development cycles for video games these days are incredibly complicated and expensive. But man, this game really underlines how many great games PlayStation has delivered in the past, and how long we have to wait for these great games now with the PlayStation 5. But I'll tell you what, this one is not to be missed. It is absolutely joy-filled and so fun to play. It's right up there with the best 3D platformer games I've ever played, and I've played a ton of them. I am going to give Astrobot a 9.5 out of 10, and if you've got a PS5, you got to pick this one up.